Well,
We're
yeah, go
saying,
go ahead. What you got? Go ahead.
all
What
right.
was the question you wanted to go?
So for the Bucks fans in the chat and the people from Wisconsin, this will hit home a little bit. But the comparison was made today on I forget it was during Sparky's show, and it is Giannis becoming the next Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre type dude, where he's getting too much power, he's making too many decisions, and this is the cancer of the Milwaukee Bucks, and this is why we will not win going forward.
I don't think that he has or holds the same power that an Aaron Rodgers holds. I don't think that I don't think that he has as much influence as it's being made out that he does have. I think that he's spoken his mind 100%. He's done that. I don't see that well, outside of his brother. He did make sure his brother stayed employed for a while. But no, I really don't. I just don't see it in that way. And again, he's playing. Despite what Coach RJ wants to say again, RJ is a 76ers fan. He's talking about Big Al's blocking him. He had a couple. He had a couple blocks and got 30 put on his head. Like, what are we talking about? But
He
you
flopped a
know,
couple times too.
yeah, and he didn't even get any of those charges. The charges came, I think, on Cornet. Maybe one. I really don't know if Al Horford was the one that got any of those charges. I know at least one was Drew Holiday, one was Cornet. But nah, I don't think that I don't think Giannis has as much influence as it gets let on that he does. Because again, I just go back to that series against the Miami Heat when Giannis should have gone and defended or guarded Jimmy Butler when everybody's boy Drew Holiday was getting torched and Jimmy Butler's looking at him saying, "I own you." And they asked Giannis, "Hey, why didn't you guard him? Why didn't you get on him?" He said, "Well, coach, I do what the coach tell me to do." And that has always been that's been his thing. And we know there's a lot of players out there that would have said no. Hey, no, I got him. I'm going to go get him. And again, whether that's some of that's in between or not, whether Giannis has to take some of that responsibility, I don't know. But I don't think Giannis is becoming some type of a cancer to the basketball team at all. His biggest flaw in the last couple postseasons was the fact that he was injured and wasn't there. Like that, that's. Yeah, I don't see it like that. And again, I look at it, last I said, I see the same thing that he saw. Like Drew Holiday wasn't good enough to get the job done. Like again, it's great he can do what he does in Boston, but it's not the same team. Like it's not the same. It's just not the same thing. You don't have the luxury of being the fourth, fifth guy. You don't have the luxury of just coming down hitting a three occasion. Like you have to run the offense. He doesn't have the same responsibilities that he would have in Milwaukee right now, being where he's at in Boston and being able to basically be that guy that stands in the corner and is able to basically be that role player to do the dirty work. Like just a totally different role.
So to your point, Trey, I can't get there with Giannis and Aaron Rodgers. Giannis and Aaron Rodgers, Giannis and Brett Favre, right? Because you could argue that both of those guys were, to an extent, kind of underachievers. So they should have had more rings. They had all this autonomy. But I do think that the difference between Giannis and Aaron Rodgers, especially, is I don't think Giannis really struggles. Giannis hasn't reached a point in his career where he struggles with accountability. It doesn't really. I don't get that. I don't get that vibe from him. Whereas with Rodgers, it got to a point, especially towards the end, where it's these guys' fault. These guys, everybody needs to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and I think Giannis still at this point now. Whether you think he's becoming a little bit more Hollywood, whether you think he's slowly becoming a diva, and possibly so, right? This is the natural life cycle of a basketball player. They hit this peak, you get that All NBA team X amount of times, and all of a sudden that ego takes over, right? But having said that, I don't think that Giannis shirks blame. I don't think that he points the finger at everybody else, at least not publicly that I've seen. But again, I haven't watched every Giannis interview. I haven't seen everything else, but I do think that he's still like, no, this is my responsibility, at least publicly. So that's a key distinction between Giannis and I think Favre and Rodgers that we as Bucks fans can make.
I don't know. From what I've heard and from what you have told me, Trey, from your source, I think, hey, he's doing a lot. I mean, maybe you get that luxury when you are a Finals MVP and you brought back the first championship in 60. But look, having guys drafted because you got the same agent, talking about what's his name, Georgios, not Carl, whatever that guy's name was. Late, you know, having guys drafted like that you really didn't need to waste a second round pick on. Having guys hired and fired, like doing both of that, like that seems like it's a little too much power in itself. Kalite Zakis, that was his name. But yeah. But that's that. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know, when you get that championship and Finals MVP, maybe you get that luxury. But to me, it is he does have some power within this organization, and whether that's good or bad, from since I've been hearing about it, I mean, I think it's bad so far.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just say my quick opinion about it, man. I was born in '82. St. Michael's Hospital, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In my lifetime, Giannis is the best thing that ever happened to my city, basketball-wise. I want him to remain as humble and his work ethic to remain at the highest level it possibly can. I just want to throw that question out to y'all, man, because it really had me thinking that I was driving around working this afternoon.